For years, Hackintosh was one of the coolest ways to breathe new life into old PCs. But with Apple moving away from Intel and Hackintosh slowly fading into history, there are still plenty of questions that need answering. Can macOS Ventura, a desktop operating system released several years ago, still deliver a great experience today? Is it still fast enough for everyday use? And perhaps most importantly, is it still worth using in 2026? This old Dell Optiplex isn't exactly what Apple had in mind when they built Ventura, but that's exactly what makes this experiment interesting. So today, I'm installing macOS Ventura on this old Office PC to find out whether this older version of macOS still has what it takes in 2026.
Okay, let's go.
And here's the Dell Optiplex 3070 tower. Originally released back in 2019, it was designed for durability and flexibility, built primarily to handle enterprise office tasks. After about 7 years of service, the exterior has a few scratches. Some parts feel a bit loose, and of course there's some dust, which is completely normal for a used system. Inside, however, everything remains pristine and original with no signs of damage or unusual repairs. We have a single 8GB stick of DDR4 RAM, leaving one slot open for future upgrades. And the CPU is an Intel Core i5-9500. Well, that's actually pretty solid. Honestly, even though the i5-9500 isn't brand new, its 6-core performance is still impressive and nowhere near obsolete today. A huge plus is the available PCIe by 16 slot and the spacious interior, which easily accommodates full-size graphics cards if I ever want to turn this into a gaming PC down the road, but that's a story for another video. The only real issue here is that this machine doesn't have a hard drive at all. Likely due to data security reasons, the previous owner pulled it out before getting rid of the PC. So, first things first, we need a drive. Honestly, every time I run into this, I have to pull out my entire treasure trove here and actually think about it. An HDD would be painfully slow, but a NVMe drive feels like overkill for a test project. Alright, I'm gonna pick this 500GB Samsung SSD. It's plenty fast for macOS, and the best part, it already has Windows 10 installed on it. And now, the puzzle is pretty clear. The goal today isn't just turning this old Dell into a Hackintosh running Ventura. We are going to make it a dual boot system, running both Windows and macOS on this single drive. Is it doable? Let's get to work. Alright, all the components are ready. Time to boot up this Dell machine. Perfect, it boots straight into Windows 10. Let's do a quick hardware check. We have an Intel Core i5-9500 with 6 cores and 6 threads, a Dell H370 mainboard, a single 8GB stick of DDR4 RAM, Intel Ultra HD graphics 630, and our 500GB Samsung SSD solid. It looks like the system is recognizing all the hardware perfectly. However, Windows sometimes fails to automatically grab the correct hardware drivers. This is crucial because even a single missing driver can cause errors during the installation later on. You can let Windows handle this via Windows Update, or you can manually install them yourself, which is usually the more effective way to go. Now, we need to prepare the necessary assets to install macOS Ventura. Recently, I made a few videos on installing macOS Big Sur on older PCs where I covered all the essential installation steps in detail. You can check those out for a deeper dive. By the way, I'll drop all the links to the required tools in the description below to save you some time. First up, install Python either from the Microsoft Store or directly from their official website. We need Python to run the scripts required for the setup process. Next, run OpenCore Simplify to let it scan your entire hardware configuration and generate a compatible EFI folder for macOS Ventura. Once it's finished, here is the EFI folder we need. After that, we move on to OpenCore PKG. Run the CMD inside the Mac recovery folder to generate the macOS Ventura recovery file. All the installation codes for different macOS versions are right inside this recovery URLs file. Just copy and paste it into CMD. And just like that, we have our Mac recovery.boot folder. Next, plug in a USB drive, open Rufus, and select the non-bootable option to format the USB to GPT and FAT32. Now just copy both the EFI and recovery folders over to the USB. Alright, our installation USB is ready. But here comes the critical step. Since we want to run both Windows and macOS side by side on this single drive, we need to create a brand new partition on the SSD specifically for macOS. Open up Disk Management. Shrink the current C drive to create a new partition. The size is entirely up to you, but to give macOS enough breathing room, it should be at least 50 gigabytes. For this build, I'm going with 100 gigabytes. Alright, with the new partition created, format it as exFAT so the macOS installer can read it. Let's also give it a name. I'll call it Ventura. Now you'll see a new drive volume named Ventura. Everything is ready for the installation. Let's restart the PC and jump into the BIOS. First thing first, disable Secure Boot because OpenCore won't boot up if this feature is enabled. Next, go to the boot priority list and move your USB drive to the very top. Save changes and exit the BIOS. The system will now boot into the OpenCore menu from the USB. Select option number 1 to launch the macOS recovery installer. And of course, you're going to see a wall of text flying across the screen like crazy. Don't panic, as long as the code is moving, the installation is working. If it freezes halfway through, that's when we're in trouble. Alright, we made it to the recovery screen. Select Disk Utility at the bottom. From here, find the Ventura partition we created earlier and erase it to the APFS format. Once that's done, close it out. Now select Reinstall macOS Ventura and choose that exact Ventura partition. From this point on, it's just a waiting game. The system will automatically reboot a few times and the wall of code will show up again, but just let it do its thing. Once the Apple logo appears with the progress bar, you know we're almost there. And there it is! macOS Ventura has officially booted up. Let's breeze through the initial setup, choosing the region, creating a user account, setting up the keyboard layout, and boom. Welcome to macOS Ventura. Let's check the specs. Alright, we have an iMac, seriously a Dell Optiplex version of an iMac. It correctly shows a 6-core Intel Core i5 processor, Intel Ultra HD 630 graphics, 8GB of DDR4 memory, running on macOS Ventura version 13.7.8. The UI looks beautiful and runs incredibly smooth. This is the real Mac experience. But we're not done just yet. There's one critical step left. If you pull the USB out right now, macOS won't boot because the drive doesn't have an EFI partition yet. Open up Safari and download the Mount EFI tool from GitHub. Run mountefi.command. Press Y to install Python and enter your user password to confirm. Next, select the drive volume you need to mount. In my case, the Ventura drive is number 2. Once mounted, a volume named No Name will appear. Inside, you'll find the boot and Microsoft folders which belong to the existing Windows EFI. Now, just copy the Mac EFI folder from your USB into here and make sure to select Merge when prompted so we don't overwrite the Windows boot files. Now we can safely unplug the USB and restart. However, the system will still boot straight into Windows because the Windows Boot Manager is still set as the default in the system firmware. To get our dual boot menu, we need to make OpenCore the default manager. Open CMD as an admin and run this command. I'll leave it in the description below for you. Once it says successfully, you're good to go. Reboot the PC one more time and you'll be greeted by the OpenCore menu. From here, you can easily choose between Windows or macOS. And that's it. The entire process of dual booting macOS Ventura side by side with Windows 10 on a single drive is officially complete. It boots right up. Incredibly fast. Now I'm really anxious to see how macOS Ventura runs on this Dell. Let's log in. First try, absolutely beautiful. Let's browse the web a bit, so smooth. Let's open another YouTube tab, still effortless. Video playback is excellent. Even playing 4K resolution videos can't sweat this machine. Maximizing to full screen, everything is still buttery smooth. Honestly, this 9th Gen i5 configuration is really not weak at all at the present time. It still has plenty of power to handle everything easily, and it's running macOS Ventura perfectly without any errors. And what's even better is that we have the ultimate flexibility to choose between running Windows or macOS Ventura on this machine. Oh, look at this! There's a notification badge on the settings icon. What is it? Could it be some kind of system error? Turns out there's an update available. Hey, do you see that? We can actually update straight to macOS Sequoia 15.7.7. Are you serious? Let me verify this in the next video. Catch you guys later.